Gauranga, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he accepted the sannyas order of life, and he left Mayapur. Actually, the intention of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at that time was to go to Vrindavan to completely take shelter of the lotus feet of Nanda Dulal. However, upon the request of Shachimata, Mahaprabhu's mother, Gauda Deshe Mor Dui Shamasrai Janani Janavi, E Dui Doyamoy. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, even after accepting sannyas, he never gave up his affection for his mother, Sachimata. And also all of the Navadip Basis, the relationships, the friends, the society of devotees with whom Gauranga had performed the Sankirtan pastimes in Navadip, chanting in the house of Srivas Thakur, delivering Jagai Madhai, and wandering throughout the groves of Odia, preaching Krishna consciousness. Eshikaniya Shav Nadia Fuchin Neche Gaunidai Radha Krishna Bolore Shabai. Eshikaniya. The Sankirtan movement and the teachings of the Sankirtan movement, Shav Nadia, all over Navadip, Fuchin Neche Gaunidai, Fuchin Neche. Neche is dancing. Dancing. You see the extraordinary Param Kuruna avatar. The extraordinary features of Sri Sachinandan, Gauranga Mahaprabhu, is that in his deity worship, he's worshipped whilst dancing. Nitai Gaur, they're in the Sankirtan Bhav, they're performing Sankirtan, and we're worshipping them whilst they're performing Sankirtan. Kali Yuge Juga Dharma Namera Prachar Toti Lage Pita Varna Chaitanya Avatar. Gauranga Mahaprabhu, he is Krishna, and he appears in the Pita Varna, the golden form of Gauranga. Gauda, Anga, his limbs are golden color. Pita Varna Chaitanya Avatar, Kali Yuge Juga Dharma Namera Prachar. To Namera Prachar, to establish the Sankirtan movement, Namer, to preach the glories of the holy name, which is the Juga Dharma, the only means of deliverance in the Kali Yuga. Nam Rupe Krishna Avatar, Nam Rupe Krishna Avatar. Krishna appears in the form of his name in the Kali Yuga. Nam Hoite Hoi. Anyone who takes the name Sharva Jagat Anishtar can be delivered. In fact, the name can deliver the entire universe. So we worship Gauranga Mahaprabhu whilst he's in that mood of distributing the holy name, along with Nidai Chand, and they're completely intoxicated in the Premavesh, love about it. Shachinandan, he appeared in the form of a devotee, Bhakti Rupa. He assumes the form of a devotee, even though he is Swayam Bhagavan, he assumes the form of a devotee to relish the devotional sentiment and also to preach Krishna Bhakti. Jari dekha tari kaha Krishna uvadesh amaradai guru hao tara edesh. Mahaprabhu, he preaches Krishna consciousness, although he is Krishna. And Nija Bhakti Yoga, that Krishna consciousness is love of him. But he doesn't preach directly, worship me as God. But rather he assumes the form of a devotee and he demonstrates Apanishikaibo by his behavior, by his example. He demonstrates what we should do. So for this reason, Bhakata Shamoha Laila Shate Gilo Nagara Braje Tatai Bhajaloko Gana Gana Tahi Jajiloro Preme Dala Dala Shonara Anga Jordane Nupura Baje. He goes out with the devotees, Bhakata Shamoha Laila. He takes the devotees with him and he goes out Nagar Grame into the villages of Navadip, raising his arms, chanting the holy name Mukunda Madhava Yadava Hari Bolena Bolore Badana Bori. This is the preaching of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Navadip Dham. And in this form, the Param Karuna Avatar, the most merciful, the Lord Swayam Bhagavan, Sri Krishna, Swayam Bhagavan, the Lord, just like we have different moods. Sometimes you're in your official mood. Sometimes you're in your relaxed mood. Sometimes you're in your formal mood. Sometimes informal. Now this, of course, worship of Nanda Dulal in Braj is the most informal. Now, he's not even presenting himself as the Supreme Lord in Vrindavan. In fact, the devotees in Vrindavan, Keval Shuddha Prema Arsha Jana Jane. They don't think of Krishna as God in Vrindavan. Arsha Jadeklayo Nija Shambonda She Mane. Even if he displays Arsha Jadeklayo, he displays godliness in Vrindavan. Nija Shambonda She Mane. It doesn't interfere with the intimate the affection that the Brajavasis have for Nanda Dula. They think they think Madhyasoda simply thinks he is her child, even though he displays the Virat Rupa within his mouth. The gopis, the Gopigon, they're thinking that he is their village associate, and they're freely associating with him in Vrindavan Dham. So in Vrindavan, Mahaprabhu's mood, the mood of Krishna is very intimate, is very relaxed, is very approachable. Even Prabhupada comments in his purports to Srimad Bhagavatam that he's more Krishna in Vrindavan is more approachable than Ramchandra, who was a prince and a king. And access to Krishna is more readily available in Brajadam, where he has tens of thousands of cows and hundreds of thousands, sahasra, Lakshmi Shahasra, Shata Shambrama Shebyamanam, Lakshmi Shahasra Shata, hundreds of thousands of gopi associates with whom he's performing a Rash Lila, and Gopa cowherd boys. So that same Nanda Dulal in Vrindavan, he appears in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and becomes a devotee. He's a devotee of himself in order to teach us the path of Krishna Bhakti and attaining Krishna's mercy. And he teaches that process through the Sankirtan movement. In fact, Mahaprabhu at Gaya, he was ordered by Ishwara Puri Prabhupada, his mantra guru, Diksha guru, wherein Mahaprabhu received the Diksha in Gaya Dham. So there he was ordered, after being initiated, after given mantra, Maha mantra, and the Vaishnav Diksha mantra. At that time, Ishwara Puri Prabhupada, he ordered Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Manache Gao Bhakti Shangai Kara Shankirtan Krishna Nama Upadeshi Tara Sharvajon. Nache, you should dance. Nache Gao, you should sing Bhakti Shangai in the association of the devotees. Krishna Nama Upadeshi, and you should instruct Krishna Nama Upadeshi. You should instruct Tara Sarvajon, all of the people, in the science of Krishna consciousness. So upon receiving that order from his guru, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu began performing the Sankirtan pastimes in Navadip, and eventually, at the age of 24, Mahaprabhu took sannyas. He took sannyas because it was required for him to spread the Sankirtan movement all over Bharat Bhumi, and for that reason, he could no longer stay at home. Although it wasn't required, it's not required that all Krishna conscious followers accept sannyas. It's not required. Grihe babone te take ha Gauranga bole dake. Narottam Mahashai sings that Grihe babone te take. You live at home or you live in the forest. Ha Gauranga bole dake, and call out the name of Gauranga. Narottama Mage Tarashang, Narottam Thakur Mahashai, he desires to associate with that Vaishnav who, Grihe, at home is chanting the holy name of the Lord. It's not required for one to accept the sannyas order of life. However, Gauranga Mahaprabhu, Sishachinandan, he accepted sannyas because it was many things were required. We'll be discussing today about his deliverance of Rupa and Sanatana Goswami. Mahaprabhu had to leave Mayapur. First, he went to Ramkeli Gold, the capital of Bengal, which is, even now, it's 7-8 hours train north of Bengal on the Ganga. So Mahaprabhu traveled there at first, and he met with Rupa and Sanatan, and he inspired them to extricate themselves from the material activities and fully engage themselves 100% in the devotional service to the Lord. Everything okay? We're back. You can hear me again?
Prabhupada.
Okay. So when the power comes back, I'll revert to the Wi-Fi. So Mahaprabhu, he had to leave Navadvip for preaching in South India. In South India, he met Ramananda Roy. He met Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and delivered them. He traveled all throughout South India. He met all of the Sri Vaishnavas in Sri Rangam. He met the Madhvas in Udupi, and he preached to them. And in this way, converted all of the Vaishnavas of South India. He converted them into Krishna Bhaktas and he inaugurated the chanting of the holy name, the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, all throughout South India. And then Mahaprabhu went to Vrindavan. So in order to do this, he was away for an extensive period of time. So fortunately, these days, one can become a missionary of Krishna consciousness, even in household life, because one can go and come. But in those days, there were no trains, there were no flights. So having gone, Mahaprabhu never returned. That's actually the meaning of sannyasi, sat jati. Sat jati, they go. The sannyasi doesn't remain. They've already entered on the eternal path. So Mahaprabhu, having accepted sannyas, first he went to Jagannath Puri. Upon the request of Sachimata, who was desiring to go to Vrindavan, he went to Jagannath Puri, because in that way they would be coming and going. And from Bengal to Jagannath Puri, devotees would come and go. And in this way, the Sachimata would get news of Mahaprabhu and his activities in Puri. And in this way, she would be able to sustain her life. And upon arriving in Puri and delivering Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, Mahaprabhu, he didn't remain in Puri. He left on the South Indian tour. After accepting sannyas, he went to Jagannath Puri. He delivered Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, who was the guru of the king of Orissa, and that was very significant. Perhaps you've been to Jagannath Puri and you've seen the residence of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, when Mahaprabhu inspired him, delivered him, displayed his four-armed form, converted him. He was a Smarta, he was a Nirakavadi, a Mayavadi, and a Brahmavadi, a Vedantist. He was not a Krishna Bhakta, but he was converted to Krishna consciousness by the association of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That's a very wonderful Lila that perhaps we can discuss in detail on a later occasion. So Mahaprabhu, after delivering Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he subsequently made his South Indian tour, and he preached extensively, delivering so many devotees and establishing the chanting of the holy name all throughout South India. And then Mahaprabhu returned to Jagannath Puri after 2 years. And although he was still desiring to go to Vrindavan, he was kept in Jagannath Puri by the requests of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, the guru of King Prataparudra Maharaj, and Rai Ramanand, who was the governor of Madras, whom Mahaprabhu had met in his South Indian tour and then invited him to come to Jagannath Puri. And Ramananda Roy, who was actually incarnation of Arjuna, he was remaining in Jagannath Puri and associating extensively with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for 2 years. And then eventually, upon many requests, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and Ramananda Roy, they gave permission to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to journey to Vrindavan. So at that time, Mahaprabhu explained that Gauda hoite more dui shamasrai janani janabhi, a dui doyamoy, that in Gauda Desh, in Bengal, more dui shamasrai, I have 2 shelters, janani janabhi. Janani means my mother, Sachimata, and Janabhi, Ma Ganga, a dui doyamoy. These 2 are very merciful. So Mahaprabhu's plan was to, from Jagannath Puri, rather than going directly to Vrindavan, UP, Mathura, he went northeast. He went to Gauda Desh. He went to Bengal Bhumi. He went to Bengal again, with the idea that he would take the Bengali devotees with him. Of course, Mahaprabhu was journeying along the bank of the Ganga from Bengal all the way up to Ganga, Haridwar, Rishikesh, all the way. And then as he approached Mathura, he would venture away from the Ganga and then Mathura, Vrindavan, on the banks of the Ganga. So Mahaprabhu went to Gaudadesh, he went to Bengal, but such crowds were following him, even from Jagannath Puri. Such crowds were following him, seeing his beautiful form, his extraordinary features, his performance of Nam Shankirtan. He's falling unconscious, Prema Veshe. Prema Veshe Pate Tumi Hobi Acheton, Aishab Shimigurge Pori Rokon. He would fall on the path. In fact, at Ram Kelly, the constable, the chief constable police, who was sent by Nawab Hussain Shah to give a report to evaluate this mendicant who had come from Bengal. They were thinking it was some sort of a movement, a riot, a protest, a social disobedience movement. Tens of thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people had gathered, had joined Mahaprabhu in his journey to Ramkelli. And the chief constable, he gave a report. He said, I've seen so many mendicants in my life. You can imagine the chief constable of police of the Nawab, the ruler of Bengal, the Sultan of Bengal, his chief constable of police. And he said, however, I've never seen a person like that. He's not like a mendicant. He's like a prince who, being instructed in transcendental knowledge, has accepted the renounced order of life and is wandering here and there, bestowing mercy upon the common man. He's explaining his beautiful form with his lotus-like eyes and his form, which is like molten gold, and his long form figure with his arms that stretch down to his knees, and his chest, which is like a lion, and his neck, which is like an elephant, and his feet, which are soft like lotus petals. His lips were reddish like red coral, and his teeth were like white pearls. But he said the most astonishing, he said that love of Godhead was overwhelming him in the kirtan, and his hairs would stand on end like a jackfruit. But he said the most extraordinary thing about this mendicant from Bengal is that within an hour, he would fall to the ground unconscious, at least 100 times. Fall to the ground unconscious 100 times in every hour. You could imagine that's every minute or two falling unconscious. And then getting up, where am I? Hearing the holy name. This is Mahaprabhu's performance at Sankirtan. So at that time, Rupa and Sanatan Goswami, the two great foremost disciples of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, sometimes the question is asked, Chaitanya Bhagavat, Chaitanya Charitamrita, what is the difference? Why did Srila Prabhupada translate the Chaitanya Charitamrita? Actually, most of the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are described in the Chaitanya Bhagavat. So why Chaitanya Charitamrita? Because the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, it includes the teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, particularly his teachings to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, his teachings to Ramananda Roy, his teachings to Rupa Goswami, his teachings to Sanatan Goswami, and his teachings to Prakasananda Saraswati. These incidents all appear in the Madhya Lila of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. And therefore, Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami, he describes the Madhya Lila, even though it's only a 6-year period compared to the Adi Lila, which is 24 years, and Antakanda, Anta Lila is 18 years, the Madhya Lila is 6-year period. Tar moddhe choiba, chorgamon, agamon, kabu dokin, kabu gold, kabu brindaban. Within that 6-year period, Mahaprabhu, he performed the pastimes of his teaching and his teachings. His extensive preaching of Krishna consciousness was done during that period. Kabu gamon agamon, kabu gold, kabu dokin, kabu brindaban. Mahaprabhu traveled. From being based in Puri, he traveled. Kabu Dokin, he went to South India and preached there. Kabu Gold, he went to Gaudadesh, Bengal. He delivered Rupa and Sanatan. Kabu Brindavan, and then he went to Brindavan. And within this Gamon Agamon, within his going and coming, Mahaprabhu, he taught the various devotees, he taught them, and in this way, the teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are established in the Madhya Lila of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. For this reason, it is considered the most important text on the life of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because It includes very extensively his scientific teachings on all aspects of Krishna Bhakti. So that chief constable, he gave his report, astonishing. And at that time, the Sultan, the Nawab, he was impressed by the words of the constable of police. And as Lochan Das Thakur sings, Poshu Paki Jure, Pashana Bidore, Shuni Chara Guna Gata, Poshu Paki Jure, Poshu Paki Jure. The Poshu, the animals, and the Paki, the birds, Jure, they cry, Pashana Bidore, stone melts. Shuni Chara Guna Gata, Shuni Jara Guna. Those who hear about their qualities, Shuni Jara Guna, those who hear their qualities, Param Kuruna, Pahudu Vijonyadai Gauda Chandra, Shuni Jara Gun, those who hear their qualities, that they will cry. Their heart, hearing about them can melt stone. Hearing about them can make the birds and the beasts cry. So even through the lips of the chief constable of police, a mogul, he was not in the Sanatana Dharma, hearing the glorification of Gauranga from the lips of the constable of police, the Nawab Hussain Shah, the Sultan of Bengal, he became purified. And at that time he declared that you let this mendicant go wherever he wants, and you let him do whatever he says, and you let him say whatever he likes. And anyone who interferes with him in any way will be destroyed by me. In fact, their entire dynasty will be destroyed. And then he retired into his inner apartment. So even though the Nawab had made this declaration that this mendicant is free to go wherever he likes, hearing the description of his extraordinary features from the constable of police, still the ministers who were Hindus, they were still concerned. Actually, at that time, the Mughal kingdom of Bengal, many highly placed ministers were Hindus for various reasons. Firstly, because they were very intelligent, and secondly, because they would have no opportunity of usurping the kingdom with some sort of takeover. So in key positions like Rupa and Sanatan, many of the key positions were held by the Hindu ministers at the time of the Mughal government of Bengal 500 years ago. And the ministers were discussing that, yes, even though he's made this declaration that Gauranga can go here and there and chant as he likes, however, at any time his mind could change. In fact, he had a record of abuse and terrorist activities towards those who were not in the Mughal society. So they were concerned. So at that time, Rupa and Sanatan, they were ministers of the governor of Bengal. They were ministers. Rupa Goswami was the home minister or secretary, private secretary. He was given an honorific name, Dabir Kash. Still nowadays, you can Google this name, Dabir Kash. It's still used in the Mughal governance cultural environment. It's a very honorific name, Dabir Kash. He was the private secretary of the Nawab of Bengal, Rupa Goswami. Just imagine the influence that he had. Just imagine his qualifications, being conversant and fluent in 7 or 8 different languages: Sanskrit, Persian, Arabic, Bangla, Hindi, whatever. So many. He was so learned, so qualified, Rupa Goswami. And the Sanatan Goswami, his name, he was Sakar Malik. Shakar Malik, he was also given an honorific name, indicating his position of leadership in the Mughal government of Bengal. He was the home minister and the finance minister. So they went to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the middle of the night, Ardharatra, in the middle of the night. And that's very beautiful, that description, and that's something we could discuss another time, but we're discussing what happened after that today, if we get to it. This is just the introduction. So that very nice meaning of Rupa and Sanatan. Aj hoite tomar naam Rup Sanatan, danne chara tomar danne fete mormon, aj hoite tomar naam Rup Sanatan. In that meeting, Mahaprabhu, he initiated Rupa and Sanatan Goswami. Aj hoite tomar naam Rup Sanatan, and he gave them the names, Rupa and Sanatan. And at the closure of their meeting, their first meeting, Rupa and Sanatan Goswami, he advised Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He advised him. He said it's not appropriate to go to Vrindavan with such a huge crowd. Hearing this, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu began to consider. Actually, after the meeting, Rupa and Mahaprabhu ordered them to. He encouraged them. He encouraged them that Krishna will very soon deliver you. You go on with your activities, and Krishna will very soon deliver you. And then Mahaprabhu carried on. He continued on to Vrindavan. He came to Kanai. That's a special place. At ISKCON, we have our center there, Kanai. The next day. And in the morning, Mahaprabhu began to consider the words of Sanatana Goswami. He's spoken very well, Sanatana Goswami. It's not appropriate for me to go to Vrindavan with such huge crowds. People will think that I'm an imposter with such a fanfare, with such an entourage. Prabhupada, in his purports to that section, he explains that it's not good to take people on pilgrimage to extract money from them. It's not good to arrange pilgrimages for profit, to make financial profit. We organize pilgrimages, and we will organize yatra. Our devotees, we take the devotees on pilgrimage to the holy places. There's expenses involved, but charges for such tours should be very minimal and simply covering the expenses. And Prabhupada's explaining that this shouldn't be done as a profit-making venture. So considering these words of Sanatana Goswami, Mahaprabhu decided to return to Jagannath Puri and not go to Vrindavan. And he returned to Jagannath Puri, and then sometime later he decided to go to Vrindavan with one assistant only, without a big crowd, Balabhadra Bhattacharya. And at that time, Mahaprabhu decided to go through the forest of Jharkhand, from Puri to Vrindavan, direct pot, through the forest of Jharkhand. That's described very wonderfully in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila, where Mahaprabhu induces the tigers, the elephants, the wild boar to embrace each other and roll on the ground in ecstasy and chant the holy name of the Lord. Now, when he reached Vrindavan, Mahaprabhu, he didn't remain in Vrindavan very long, actually. And as is the general instruction for all the Gaudiyas, that Vrindavan is a very special place. Vrindavan is a very exalted place. And we only the extremely qualified and highly qualified candidates are able to remain in Vrindavan for an extensive period of time. Even Saraswati Thakur, he visited Vrindavan only on a few occasions, and he didn't remain there extensively. He took the devotees on Parikrama. Actually, Prabhupada's one of his significant, one of the first time he sat and heard a formal lecture of Sridhar Saraswati Thakur was when His Holiness Prabhupada was in Vrindavan, and he was taking his followers on thousands of followers on the Braja Dham Parikrama. At that time, Prabhupada came from Prayag, Allahabad, where he had his pharmacy, and he stayed one night and he heard Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur give the class. Subsequently, in Prayag, when Prabhupada, a few years later, or sometime later, 1 year later, he was requesting, or a few months later, actually, he was requesting initiation. Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur was coming to Prayag at the Rup Gaudiya Math, and Prabhupada was seeking to take initiation. At that time, Atulananda Brahmachari referred Prabhupada to Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Srila Prabhupada said, yes, I have marked him. He likes to listen. And that was only from one class that Prabhupada attended. In fact, Prabhupada was very quickly able to become an intimate associate of Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur because he was highly qualified. So at that time he was in Vrindavan, but he didn't spend extensive period of time in Vrindavan. And Prabhupada also visited Vrindavan. He spent his remaining months in Vrindavan, but Mahaprabhu similarly didn't spend an extensive period of time in Vrindavan, only about 2 weeks. And Balabhadrapada and his assistant, they decided that we have to bring Chaitanya Mahaprabhu out of Vrindavan because he's overwhelmed by love of Godhead, and it is too much. His love of Godhead, in fact, it increased 1,000 times. Increased 1,000 times when Mahaprabhu approached Mathura, and increased 10,000 times when he was in Prajabhumi. We'll change back to the Wi-Fi because I think it's a better connection. Mahaprabhu remained in Vrindavan just for a couple of weeks, and then upon leaving Vrindavan, he's brought out of Vrindavan by Balabhadrabhatacharya. Mahaprabhu now he's come to Prayag. Again, he's going to return to Bengal, return to Jagannath Puri, Odia, Odisha, return there by traveling along the banks of the Ganga. Now, after their first meeting in Ramkeli, in Gold, after their first meeting, which was several months prior, Mahaprabhu, he encouraged Rupa and Sanatana Goswami that quickly Lord Krishna will deliver you. So shortly after that meeting, Rupa Goswami was able to extricate himself from the government service in Gold, where he was remaining at the capital of Bengal, and with his brother, Anupam. With his brother Anupam, he was journeying to Vrindavan, thinking that Mahaprabhu would remain in Vrindavan for a long period of time. In fact, Mahaprabhu, he's ordered the Goswamis to remain in Vrindavan. Chai Goshai Chabe Brajakoila Bash, Radha Krishna Nitto Lila, Korila Prakash, Chai Goshai. Braja Koilabas, they were ordered by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to reside in Vrindavan. Radha Krishna Nitto Lila, Korila Prakash, to reveal the eternal pastimes of Radha and Krishna in Vrindavan. And that was done by the Goswamis writing the Goswami Granto, writing their books like Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu and Ujjala Nilamani and Hari Bhakti Vilas and many other books. Upadesh Amrit and Govinda Lilamrit, where they describe the pastimes of Radha and Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan. They describe them in the Goswami Grantha. And also they established the temples in Vrindavan. When you visit, I think you visited Vrindavan recently, you'll see there the temples of the Goswamis, Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Govinda Ji, Radha Gokulananda, Radha Damodar. In this way, each of the Goswami, Radha Raman, in each of the Goswamis established, which are the main temples of Vrindavan, each of those temples was established by one of the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan. So, Rupa Goswami, after giving up his engagement with the governor of Bengal, he was going to Vrindavan and thinking that Mahaprabhu will remain in Vrindavan. They were thinking that Mahaprabhu will go to Vrindavan, he'll stay there. And all 3 would be together. Others, Bhugarbha Goswami, Lokanath Goswami were already there. And Rupa and Sanatana go to Vrindavan, will all be in Vrindavan, Mahaprabhu will be there. So, however, Rupa Goswami was immediately able to extricate himself from the service of the Nawab. However, Sanatana Goswami, he was not able to do that. And the Nawab was depending upon him so much. In fact, the Nawab was at that time planning a campaign in Odia, Orissa, where he would fight with the king of Orissa. And so he was expecting Sanatana Goswami, Shakala Malik, to remain in Gaur and actually manage the entire government, manage the whole kingdom of Bengal. That was the responsibility of Sanatana Goswami. We'll hear this pastime in full in detail on another occasion, if you so desire. But Sanatana Goswami, he was remaining at home with the Brahmins, and they're reading Srimad Bhagavatam, and the Nawab came and saw him there and said, you're not sick. He was taking sick leave. He said, you're not sick. And Bhagavad Bichara, he was studying Bhagavatam with 20 or 30 Vaishnava Brahmins. So the Nawab, he put him in jail. He put Sanatana Goswami in jail, and he said that I'm going to Orissa for the campaign, and when I come back, I'll deal with you. And we'll hear that story in detail on another occasion, how Sanatana Goswami was able to extricate himself, escape the jail. You can go and visit that place, actually, in Ramkeli. You can visit the jail where Sanatana Goswami was held prisoner. And so at this time, Sanatana Goswami is in jail, and Rupa Goswami, he's left and he's gone along the banks of the Ganga with his younger brother, Anupam, and he's arrived in Prayag. Rupa Goswami's arrived in Prayag. He's gone through Bihar, Varanasi, he's come to UP, he's arrived in Prayag. And at that time, Mahaprabhu has just returned from Vrindavan. And again, they meet. So let's hear some verses from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. That was the introduction to today's reading. Let's hear some verses from the Madhya Lila, chapter 19, which describe this meeting of Rupa and Sanatana Goswami and Anupam in Prayag. And it is very instructive. It is very wonderful. Listen attentively as we'll read some of the verses from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, following the prediction of Siddhartha Saraswati Thakur, who Prabhupada commented on many occasions. He mentioned that the foreigners would learn Bengali language to read the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. So today you can witness one foreigner who's reading the texts of the Bengali text of the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, and we'll discuss these. This is text around about 35. It's actually, it's 36, 37, something like that. Prabhu Chalayat Chen, Bintu Madhav Darshane, Lokalok, Lokalok, Aishe Prabhu Milone. So Mahaprabhu at that time, Bindu Madhav is a beautiful Krishna deity in Prayag, just near the banks of Ganga, Prayag. Tribeni Prayag, a beautiful place, take bath there, Tribeni Prayag. Bindu Madhav temple is a small temple, just a few minutes from the bank of Ganga. So Mahaprabhu was going to take darshan of the Bindu Madhav deity, Lokalok. That means millions and millions. Lokalok. Aishe Prabhu Milane had gathered with him, had joined him, being attracted by his Sankirtan performance, seeing him. Would you like to one day see Mahaprabhu with millions and millions of followers dancing with his arms raised, performing the Harinam, performing Nam Sankirtan in love of Godhead? Would you like to see that? So by the descriptions of Kaviraj Goswami, we can, by hearing, we can see. Kehu Kande, Kehu Hashe, Kehu Nache Gai, Krishna Krishna Boli, Kehu Gada Gari Jai. Kaviraj Goswami, he's explaining he's describing the people, the activities of the people, describing that huge crowd of tens of millions and millions of people. Kehu Kande, some of them are crying. Kehu Hashe, some of them are laughing. Kehu Nache Gai, some are dancing, some are singing. Krishna Krishna Boli, Kehu Gada Gari Gai. They're all chanting the name of Krishna. Kehu Gada Gari Gai. Some of them are rolling on the ground. Some of them are rolling on the ground. One time I inquired from His Holiness Jai Pataka Swami Maharaj. In Mayapur here, I inquired, Goshai, Guru Maharaj, Goshai, is it possible devotees to roll on the ground in Kirtan? Actually, ISKCON Mangalore, temple room. I don't think possible to roll on the ground there. You haven't got enough room. You have to kind of you need a bit more space to really get a nice roll going. Can we roll in the ground? Roll on the ground in the Kirtan. Sometimes here in Mayapur, you see the people coming from the village rolling on the ground. The devotees sometimes wonder, what is that? Actually, they are merging. They're covering their bodies in the dust of the lotus feet of the Sankirtan devotees. So after the Kirtan, you see people roll on the ground. They like to cover their whole body with the dust, the paduduli of the Vaishnava Thakur. This can give you prema, rolling on the ground for that reason. But here they're rolling on the ground out of love of Godhead. They can, and I asked His Holiness, can we roll on the ground in the kirtan? And his response was, if you cannot contain yourself, not that, yeah, I did a bit of this dancing, a bit of that dancing. Now I'll try rolling on the ground. No, they're garagari. They're rolling on the ground is that they don't want to do it. They want to restrain themselves, but they cannot. They're out of madness. They're rolling on the ground in the kirtan. So if you're in that level of, His Holiness was actually, he was instructing me. He was saying that, and in any case, you said that we want to roll, but we don't flout. We don't like to advertise the ecstatic symptoms. So in other words, we wouldn't be rolling on the ground, because even if we were overwhelmed and we wanted to roll on the ground, we wouldn't show that out of humility. But in this case, they're rolling on the ground. Ganga Chamuna Prayag Naryala Dubai Tay Prabhu Dubai lo Krishna Prema Bonnate. That never before had there been an instance of Prayag city being flooded by Ganga Jamuna. Never before had we heard that Prayag was flooded by Ganga and Jamuna. But Prabhu Dubai Krishna Prema Bonnate, he's flooded Prayag with a flood of love of Godhead. Krishna Prem Bonnate. So Rupa Goswami and Anupam, they were seeing Mahaprabhu going to the temple, and they're seeing this huge crowd. They were at a distance, actually. At that time, they didn't approach Mahaprabhu, but to begin with, he was completely premavesha. He was completely mad and intoxicated in love of Godhead, and such a huge crowd. And how could they discuss anything anyway? Sometimes people here in Mayapur, I'm in the temple, and devotees come from different places. They see me, they begin to talk to me in the temple. Now, if such an occasion, you see me and you talk to me in the temple, don't be upset if we don't spend very long with you, because it's not possible to have a valuable conversation with somebody in the temple during the kirtan. So better to do that outside the temple. Don't try and have a conversation. You can say Haribol, but don't go more than that. It's too dangerous. It's too Chinese shout over the kirtan. So they didn't approach Mahaprabhu at that time. They approached him the next day. But the description is continued. The description continues. Rupa and Sanatan, they saw Mahaprabhu. Premabeshe nache Prabhu Hari Doni Kori Udvabahu Kori Bolo Hari Hari. Kaviraj Goswami is describing the activities of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu during this Mahakirtan. Premabeshe, love of Godhead. This is text number 42, by the way. Premabeshe, the love of Godhead. Abesh means to enter into. Premabeshe, love of Godhead. Although he is Krishna, but he's experiencing the prema, full love of Godhead. He's experiencing that as a devotee experiences it. That's another topic, why he assumes as a Radha Bhav. He's assuming the form of Radharani, Sri Radhika, and the love that she has for him. Vedaham samatitani vartamanani charjana bhavishani chabutani mamtu vedana question. I know all that's happened in the past. I know everything in the present. I know everything will happen in the future. But Krishna does not know what it feels like to be in love with him. Even though he's God, he doesn't know what it feels like to love him. So therefore, he assumes the position of Sri Radhika, the topmost lover, Radha Kanta, the one who Radha loves so much, Radha Kanta. He assumes the form of Sri Radhika and assumes her by Radha Bhav, Radha Prem. He assumes that, he experiences that in order to understand how much love she has for him. So Premaveshe. So when he hears the kirtan, the love of Godhead, it overwhelms him in the mood of Radhika. Premaveshe nache Prabhu. He's dancing in love of Godhead. He's dancing. Hari Dhani Kori, calling out the names of Hari. Udva Bahu Kori. Udva Bahu Kori. As we mentioned, we worship Gaura with the arms raised. And similarly in the kirtan, that we raise our arms. Udva Bahu Kori. Udva means up. Udva Bahu, he raises his arms. Udva Bahu Kori, Bole, Bolo Hari Hari. And he's saying, Bolo Hari Hari. He's instructing all others to chant the holy name. He's instructing them to chant the holy name. Bolo Hari Hari in his ecstasy. Prabhu Mahima Deki, Log Chamatkar, seeing this extraordinary activity of Mahaprabhu, raised arms, full of love of Godhead, as the people are surrounding him, some crying, some laughing, some chanting, some rolling on the ground. Mahaprabhu is raising his arms, full of love of Godhead. He's calling, chant the holy name, chant the holy name. Hari bol, bolo hari hari, bolo hari hari. Prabhu Mahima Deki, seeing this, Prabhu Mahima Deki, seeing this extraordinary phenomena. Prabhu Mahima Deki, Log Chamatkar, everyone was extremely astounded. Prayage Prabhu Lila Nari Barnibar. No one can describe Prayage, Prabhu Lila, these pastimes of Mahaprabhu in Prayag. Nari Barni Bar, they're not possible to describe. It's not possible to describe them. Of course, this is the humility of Srila Kaviraj Goswami, because very beautifully he's describing the Prabhu Prayagir, Prabhu Mahima, the extraordinary pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Prabhu Mahima Deki Lok Chamatkar Prayage Prabhu Lila Nari Barniba. He is describing very beautifully the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as he arrived in Prayag, having just come from Vrindavan, arriving in Prayag and going to take darshan of the Bindu Madhav deity. And at that time, coming from Bengal, from Ramkali, Rupa Goswami with his brother Anupam, they came in, they witnessed Mahaprabhu in their kirtan. Subsequently, they meet with Mahaprabhu, and that's very beautiful, the descriptions and the teachings that are found in that incident when Vallabhacharya comes, the great Acharya of the Vallabha Sampradaya. And that meeting is there, which we can discuss on another occasion. This particular incident is very interesting because there's a book that Srila Prabhupada wrote. It's called The Teachings of Lord Chaitanya. Srila Prabhupada, first of all, he wrote the Srimad Bhagavatam first canto. Actually, Prabhupada wrote that when he was residing in Radha Adamadam Mandir in Vrindavan before leaving for the West. Having wrote the first canto and published it in India. You can still find some of the original first canto volumes that Srila Prabhupada personally published in India, in Delhi. You can find them. You find in Vrindavan's room, in Prabhupada's room in Vrindavan, you'll see one of those original first cantos that Prabhupada himself published. You'll find in Juhu, Mumbai. However many volumes there were, Prabhupada brought on the boat to Jaladuda, so 300 or 500 volumes, whatever the first publication was. Prabhupada took them all to the West, and they were sold. They're collector's items. Also in Melbourne, Mahaprabhu Mandir, where I joined Krishna consciousness, there was one volume that Prabhupada originally published himself in Delhi. Then he came to the West, came to New York. And first there was published the Bhagavad Gita, Macmillan Books. They published the Bhagavad Gita. And then Prabhupada began working on teachings of Lord Chaitanya. And that was published in 1968 or 1969. So you can see even before writing the Srimad Bhagavatam, even carrying on the second canto and third canto, Prabhupada eventually wrote up to the 10th canto. But before carrying on with writing the Bhagavatam and any other books, Prabhupada at that time, he wrote teachings of Lord Chaitanya, indicating how important it was that the English speakers of the world were introduced to the teachings of Lord Chaitanya. Prabhupada also wrote Nectar of Devotion and Krishna book at that time, before 1971. So this book, Teachings of Lord Chaitanya, it's that Prabhupada describes as a summary of the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. But it's very interesting that Prabhupada doesn't begin that book in the beginning of the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila. In fact, he doesn't discuss anything in detail of the whole Adi Lila in that book. In fact, he doesn't even begin that book in the beginning of the Madhya Lila. He begins that book Teachings of Lord Chaitanya. He begins that he's writing from the 19th chapter of the Madhya Lila, which is the chapter that we're looking at here. And he begins that book. He doesn't even begin in the beginning of the chapter, 19th chapter, no. he actually begins that book, The Teachings of Lord Chaitanya. The opening paragraphs are describing this incident of Mahaprabhu arriving in Prayag and being surrounded by millions and millions of people and being overwhelmed with love of Godhead, and the description of Rupa Goswami and Anupam coming and seeing him performing that kirtan. It's very significant that Srila Prabhupada began the Teachings of Lord Chaitanya, which was the book that he wanted to introduce the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his teachings to the Western world. He began that book. He introduced Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to the Western world in that book with this Lila. This is the first description of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes that Prabhupada wrote and published in English. And in this way, it is very significant, indicating that this particular moment when Mahaprabhu is completely absorbed in love of Godhead, in performing Sankirtan, and he's freely distributing love of Godhead to all humanity. At the height of such ecstasy, Prabhupada introduces Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to the Western world, describing such a Lila. And he chooses that Lila, as I mentioned, is not the beginning of the book. So these are some thoughts that we've shared with you today on this section of Chaitanya Charitamrita. Are there any questions?
Hare Krishna. We are so fortunate to hear. Actually, we would like to keep hearing. And first thing, everybody is asking when is the next lecture. So today, anybody has a question? Anybody would like to clarify some question? We get a rare opportunity.
There's a question, there's a hand up there. Santosh.
Santosh ji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. We are very fortunate to have this association today. By mercy of all the senior Vaishnavas, we tend to learn Bhagavad Gita. And in small way, we are also trying to preach. But what we realize is, it is very difficult to leave the preaching. Many times we say the material attachment, all those things, but we are not able to leave that. So how do we rise in this realization?
Santosh, this is a good question. Now, Santosh, you may not, in order to preach, it's not necessarily that you have to be extremely advanced in Krishna consciousness. In fact, apni nar korle shikano na jaye to shidanta Gita Bhagavat Gai. The conclusion of the Gita and Bhagavat, eto shidanta Gita Bhagavat Gai, apni nar korle shikano na jaye. Apni nar korle. If you're not doing it yourself, shikano na jaye. Your teachings will not be effective to anyone. Your preaching will not be effective. So Santosh, you don't have to preach about the high conclusions of Krishna Bhakti, but whatever you are doing, you can preach to others. I see you're wearing tilak, so you are following. And to whatever extent you're following the principles of Krishna consciousness, you're regularly chanting, you're offering your food, you're worshipping Krishna, you're attending the arati, you're chanting the holy name, all of these things. You may not be following all of the principles of Krishna consciousness, but you still can do these things: offer your food, chant the holy name, have a japamala, perform kirtan, read the books, wear tilak, attend the program. All of these activities you can encourage others to do. We're going in the order as they're coming along the page here. So it's Radhika.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu ji. Thank you so much. It was a wonderful section. Just one clarification. In fact, you had told that the Chaitanya Charitamrita summary is teachings of Lord Chaitanya. Then Chaitanya Bhagavat, what does that cover, Prabhu?
Radhika, the
Yes,
Chaitanya Bhagavat, it is describing Mahaprabhu's pastimes in Navadip
Okay.
before taking sannyas.
Sure.
And Chaitanya Charitamrita, in the first Adi Kanda, is philosophy, the Panchatattva, and then a brief summary of the Navadip pastimes. There's 4 chapters, 13 to 17, Adi Lila. And then the Madhya Lila, actually, Mahaprabhu takes sannyas. So the main part of Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, Anta Lila, Mahaprabhu is sannyasi. The Chaitanya Bhagavat, the main part, Mahaprabhu is grihastha. Mahaprabhu takes sannyas at the end of Madhya Kanda, and then subsequently there's only 10 chapters describing his sannyas pastimes in Chaitanya Bhagavat. So that 10 chapters of Chaitanya Bhagavat is described in 40 chapters of Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, Anta Lila. So that's the difference. So Chaitanya Charitamrita, Mahaprabhu after sannyas, Chaitanya Bhagavat, Mahaprabhu before sannyas.
Sure. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Okay, Radhika. And Subind, 65, Sudend, Dameshwar, you turned into Dameshwar. No, yes, Sudendra, Shudena Pran, Shudendranath.
Prabhu.
Yeah.
Okay, Prabhuji, I am very happy to hear your excellent discourse, sir. I would like to know, since our childhood, we are having the bad habits or so-called the non-habits like tea taking and so much sweets taking, etc. How can we avoid now? I am now 64 years, and since my so many years I am having that habit. How can we stop that, or how can we control our mind?
Yes,
So,
it's not easy. It's not easy because we have habits. We have habits. Why we're doing what we do? Sudendranath, why we're doing? Because we're doing what we do because it takes effort. It takes effort to actually overcome all of these anarthas. It's not an easy thing. Why I'm living like this? It takes effort. It's a whole life's effort. So don't be discouraged. Don't be discouraged. Whatever you can do in Krishna's service, you do that. And then gradually, as your senses become more purified, I mean, you take prasadam. You take prasadam. Sweets we can take. Krishna likes sweets. You offer the sweets to Krishna. You take prasadam. You take hot milk. You can take herbal tea. You can offer that to Krishna. So whatever you can do in Krishna's service, you do that. If there's other areas where you have difficulty, that's okay. You carry on. You do your best. But don't be discouraged. You carry on serving Krishna. You don't let a little thing become a big obstacle. You just be you be enthusiastic. You serve Krishna in whatever way you can. Eventually, you'll lose taste for these things, having developed a high taste for Krishna consciousness. And
thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Dameshwara, Krishna, Prabhu, Hare Krishna, Abar Dekha Hache.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam, Prabhuji. Very happy to have your August association once again. It revitalized the memories we had at Mangalore in your association, Prabhuji, and especially the Kirtan at Prajaka. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, my question is that every month we have new participants joining. So which are the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which can be, discussed with the new participants?
Oh, any pastime. I mean, any pastime. Any Gouda, Sri Gouda Modu Lila, Jar Kani Probishila, Ridoni and Mal Palotar, any pastime, Sri Gouda Modu Lila. Generally preaching, this was class on Chaitanya Charitamrita today, but we gave instructions as well. But generally preaching means Gitu Badesh. Generally preaching means Gitu Badesh. Okay, Hare Krishna. Nam Nishta Prabhu, what time shall we continue? We know that everybody is very punctual. The ISKCON Mangalore is very punctual.
No. Everybody wants to hear you.
So we'll carry on until we get cut off.
Yeah.
There's a few hands up. Or we'll complete the questions. Tapan Mahadev, Tapan, question.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. My question was very simple. While we are saying Chaitanya Charitamrita is more into the form Lord has come to understand the ecstasy of the devotees and especially Radharani. If I want to understand more in detail the mood of Radharani and more about Radharani, what should I be reading about it?
Well, you can read the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila, chapter 3, the reasons for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance. You'll find it all there. I mean, Chaitanya Charitamrita, everything is there. All about Braj, all Radha Bhav, Radha Tattva, Bhagavat Tattva, everything is Chaitanya Charitamrita. It's the Chaitanya Charitamrita is the topmost study. Is the Gaudiya Siddhanta. It's in the Goswami Siddhanta, Chaitanya Charitamrita. Prabhupada's given it for us to read. You read it.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Sandeep. Sandeep.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavad Pranam. Thank you so much for your session today. Thank you so much. Prabhuji, what's one tip I need from you, maybe, like how can we improve our chanting? And like,
well, Sandeep, the thing is that you just have to keep chanting. Now use beads. If you're not using beads already, use beads and try to chant early in the morning, but get enough sleep. Don't just try to, if you force yourself to get up early without sufficient sleep, then you'll be drowsy. It's difficult to chant. It's better to take rest early. If you can take rest at 8 p.m., 8:30, 9 p.m. And then you can wake up having sufficient rest, 3 or 4 o'clock, no problem. And then you can chant before the sun rises. I noticed in Mangalore, as distinct from here, East India here gets light at 4:45, 5 p.m. is already light. So once it gets light, it's going to be not as easy for you to concentrate. Once at the end of the night, that's the best time to chant. It's called Brahma Muhurta. When it's still dark, before the night has ended, that last hour of darkness, that's the best time for chanting. That's why we get up early. But in order to do that, Sandeep, you have to take rest early at 8:30, 8 o'clock or 8:30. And then you rise and you have enough sleep and then you can chant. But otherwise, if you have to sleep more, sleep more. But at least be in a quiet place without disturbance and don't have any other activity planned whilst you're chanting. Don't have your phone on, etc. Sit there and chant either 1 round without interruption, or then you can increase to 2 rounds, increase to 4 rounds. And in this way, gradually increase the absorption and the intensity through chanting on japa in a proper way.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Bon. Adish.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, 2 questions. First one is Srimad Bhagavatam, Srila Prabhupada has mentioned that you have to start from the starting. So even Chaitanya Charitamrita, is it like you have to start from the starting, or we can start from anywhere?
Oh, you can start from anywhere.
And second question, how to sleep?
Generally, you see, what that means is that in the temple, we start in the beginning, we go verse by verse in the temple. It goes on in ISKCON. But that doesn't mean you when you read, you can read anything, any read. Yashmin prati shlokam abhadabat dabi namani anantashijashon kintaniyat. Vyas Muni explains that, the Sutta Goswami explains that each and every sloka, Jasmin prati shlokam, Janataga Biplava, can create a revolution in the impious lives of the misdirected civilization. So you can read any sloka. Prabhupada said, read any page. Prabhupada said, read any line. He said, regard book distribution. They open the book, they read 1 line. So it doesn't matter. Whatever you like to read, you can read.
And next question is how to sleep early in the night. Like waking up early, we can do with alarm, but like how to go to bed early. Like that is
well, come and live in Mayapur to begin with. There's no noise at night time. It's difficult if you're living in these cities, Chennai, Bangalore, wherever you are. People to 11, 11:30, 12 o'clock, the traffic, people are going around, and very difficult. So try to somehow or other escape that, have a place that's quiet. If you're quiet, you can use earplugs. And don't eat. Stop. Don't take dinner at 8:30, 9. Take it earlier and later in the afternoon, and then be a little digested. It takes practice. It takes a lot of practice to be able to take rest early. But if you can achieve that, just like here in Mayapur, our Gurukulis, the boys here, they take rest at 7 p.m. and they wake up at 2 a.m. Can you imagine how much opportunity that gives you for advancing in spiritual life? If you wake up at 2 a.m., you got like 5, 6, 7 hours every day in the morning for spiritual practice. They take rest at 7. So anything, in any case, things can be developed by habit.
Okay, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you very much, Prabhuji.
And Katrecha, Hot Katrecha.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranams.
Dandavats.
Thank you for your wonderful class. Sorry for my inability to turn on my camera. So I had one question that how do we maintain mental equilibrium when we are praised too much?
When we are what? Too much?
When we are praised too much.
Or pressed too much?
Yes.
Yeah. Het. What do you do, Het? You're a student?
Yes, Prabhuji. Currently, I am taking level 3 classes.
Level 3?
Yes.
Already you have such an advanced consciousness. You're asking questions about such valuable questions about the purpose of life and the real value of human life. And you're only in the 3rd class, Het. So you're very fortunate.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
It must be something you're carrying on from previous lives. So, Het, it's not easy. You see, that's why in the past, the Rishis would live in the forest. Because, you know, it's difficult here when you have so many activities. It's entangling. It's entangling. You have your school, you know, Asat Sangha. You have so many people who are not interested in spiritual life, but still you have to associate with them. Maybe even family members, but still you have to associate with them. So what to do? At least had, you know, maintaining equilibrium. At least give yourself some private time where you can absorb yourself in the chanting and reading the books of Prabhupada and chanting Hare Krishna. And private Krishna consciousness, that will give you peace. Gyattvamam shantim richati. Krishna explains 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Gyattvamam shantim richati. You attain me, you get peace. So you'll get that peace. So you require that like a daily dose. You know, like you have food, you get hungry, you've got to eat regularly. So you need regular installment of Krishna consciousness through hearing the name and reading Prabhupada's book set. And then that will give you strength. That will give you strength. Yasmin stito gurunapi navichalyate. Yasmin stito gurunapi navichalyate. That Krishna is explaining, being situated such, one is not disturbed even amidst the greatest difficulty. So you have to have that connection with Krishna consciousness. You can take shelter of that in the morning, do Krishna consciousness, in the evening, do Krishna consciousness. In the day, whatever happens, well, you have to just take it as it comes. It's not easy when you're dealing with so many unfavorable circumstances. You can desire that later in life that you can fully devote yourself to the activities of Krishna consciousness, become a preacher of Krishna consciousness, absorb yourself in hearing and chanting, Brahminical lifestyle, then it's easier. It's easier. You have to work toward that. You have to desire that. You can desire that whilst you're chanting, actually. And Krishna will fulfill that desire. Narottam Mahashaya, he desires that life after life, I desire to associate with devotees. So if you desire that, Krishna will fulfill that desire. And then it's easy when you're associating only with devotees and serving Krishna constantly, then it's easier for you to remain in Krishna consciousness and maintain equilibrium.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for your advice. Hare Krishna.
Okay. And Shri Lakshmi.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam. I missed the chance to meet you in Bangalore, although I stay there. Prabhu, my question is, being a young girl and my parents, they won't allow me, or there is some family issues regarding Krishna consciousness. Most of them, they face this, that their parents are not allowing them to do Krishna consciousness, or how to preach them, because I'm a young girl and obviously they won't hear me because for them I'm a child. Then how can I convince them?
Sri Lakshmi, what can we say that, you know, what has happened in India, the place of Dharma Bhumi. But even we find that such fortunate parents whose children desire to be dharmic and follow principles of God consciousness, and they're preventing them. So in any case, this is the predicament we find ourselves, Sri Lakshmi, in the modern age, where our leadership is compromised, and therefore we don't have ideal leaders to actually guide humanity. So our movement is trying to provide that guidance. So what to do, Sri Lakshmi? You're in that situation. You have your parents are responsible for you. You have to stay there. Not much you can do. You just try to, if you can negotiate somehow or other, get some Krishna consciousness. Try the best you can. You have to try to convince your parents that it's good for them. There's nothing inauspicious. It's only good for them. If you become spiritual, and human life is meant for spirituality. Chanting Hare Krishna is the easy process. These devotees, their association inspires me to take the spiritual life. What would you prefer? I become a drunkard and chase after, and all the boys are chasing after me in the school. Would you prefer that? So let me become spiritual. Let me become religious. It's good for you. It's good for everybody. There's no harm in it. So be patient. Try to convince them. Try to give them Krishna Prasadam, and also you consult with the senior ladies and the senior devotees there in ISKCON Mangalore. They can give you very helpful advice in this regard, specifically for your circumstances. Sri Lakshmi.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
But rest assured that Krishna has your interest in mind, and Krishna will protect you, and Krishna will help you if you chant his name. Rest assured.
Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you so much. We are all blessed today, all purified. I think everybody is asking when is the next time we can have a session with you.
Dashoshmi, when you call me, when you call me, we can have session anytime.
Yes.
We are available. We just sit here in Mayapur. We can talk about Krishna anytime, 24 hours a day. It's our honor. It is our pleasure.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. We are all very, very grateful. Panchai kalpataruvascha kripa sindhave evacha patitanam pavane vaishnavam anant koti vaishnavinda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Atul Krishna Prabhu ki jai.
So we'll
Hare Krishna. Everybody can say Hare Krishna to Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Very interesting, Prabhu.
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Enlightening. Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you everybody for joining. Okay. Hare Krishna.
Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.